Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. On Friday, I went up to the Kent Equipment Show that's in Kent, Connecticut. I really love that show because you have a lot of the old timers there that actually worked on equipment back in their day. And because of it, there's a lot of stuff you can find. Like, this is welding cable. I think I gave them $3 for it, and it's 5 gauge, and you could see a whole load of it. Jumper cables, I think these were $2. Same guy, and if you look there, you could see there's some real gauge to that. The spools of wire, I think on average they were about $2 each, and I really work at getting some of the older spools of wire. First of all, the spools could be interesting, where they were made and so forth, when a lot of this stuff was still made out in Connecticut and all. Secondly, it's actually copper. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the wire that comes in from China now is copper plated aluminum. And though that stuff might be okay if you're wiring up an alarm or something, I wouldn't recommend wiring up a all-terrain vehicle with it, because the vibration and all, you could picture getting opens in all kinds of strange places, and then you're out walking. This was $2. I was after it because it was red, different color. I was after this because of 4-conductor. I think he only charged me $2 for this also. I mean, there was one guy just basically giving away wire. I'm pretty sure for what I paid for all this wire, it's worth more in scrap. And Harvey likes paying scrap price for things. So I walk up to this other guy, and he's got this bag of money and all different coins, like 1 cent with a star on it. I mean, anyway, so I said, how much? And he said 25 cents each, 5 for $1. I said, how much for the whole bag? And he said $5. So I don't know, even if you only use it as play money, there's got to be $5 worth of play in there, right? I mean, it's from all over the place. I'm sure some of these countries don't even exist anymore. He indicated he got this and a lot more through a clean out. So, right, cleaning out a house, and some elderly person put it aside thinking it was their life savings and never used it. Kind of a shame, actually. This is a brass GE. I just couldn't leave it behind for 50 cents. I'm not sure what it's off of. Probably an old stove. These were 50 cents too. Use these to find center. These, once again, if you're trying to find center, you got a nice long taper here. You just chuck this up in the lathe, turn it, drill it, and then it's easy to find center out. So I grabbed all of those. The pliers were $1 each, and you guys know whenever I can grab like Utica, or these are probably a dental tool, I'm sure, before somebody waylaid them and got paint on them, right? I think you grabbed somebody's tooth and yanked it with this. That had to hurt, right? I just grabbed these. I use them all the time. This is Universal Products from Taiwan. I go through these things quite a lot. Unfortunately, they normally suffer some kind of impact damage from falling off. These are blades. These were only 50 cents. I could open it up, but then they'll fall all over the place. But you can kind of, I'm not sure if these were on some kind of spinning thing or whatever. I just thought they could be handy for a project. And now for the monster in the room. I believe this beast is a Changfa copy of a Yanmar diesel. Probably somewhere, I don't know, 10, 12 horsepower. I'm told it was running a generator before the generator head passed on. Obviously it came with the gas tank and a double muffler system. So here's what it looks like. Might have been that our mice friends visited in here, found some way of getting in here. It does not appear to be seized, right? Already checked that, right? A seized diesel is worthless. I do want to put a battery on it and give it a couple of spins to see what happens. There is fuel in the fuel filter. It's going into the injector. I'm not quite sure what anyway. Let's hook up a battery to it. What's the worst that could happen? I have to run away as this thing skips all over the ground. Might as well have a little bit of an adventure. First things first, let's see if there's any oil in here. Well, yeah, it seems to be running out, so there must be oil in there. Boy, that threads in a long way. So you always, no matter what, you always want to give that a quick check. I already checked in here. There are no mice in the air cleaner. I guess what that's doing is twisting the governor. I'm really not sure how all this works, but I guess we'll put a battery to it and we'll find out, eh? Okay, this appears to be the way it works. Turn that to run, and when you want to shut it down, and that shuts it down. It seems to have diesel in it, right? You see it in the filter right there. Anyway, we'll give it a shot. We'll turn it over. What's the worst that could happen? Notice that I chickened out and I put a few ropes on it. Yeah, if this thing ends up on the ground, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pick it back up and put it on there. So I need to keep it at least this high so I can put it on a cart or something for moving it about. Well, here we go. Run, pause, run. Guess I should hit the compression release. Well, that ain't good. I'm not thinking it's going to start. That starter doesn't seem to be healthy. Yeah, if each time it's going to let go. Getting some smoke out of it. Here, let me try something else. Maybe I'm not doing the starter right. I'm going directly to the starter. Maybe I should be going to the starting solenoid and engaging that first. Alright, I think the view will be a little more interesting this way, right? You guys could see the tailpipe. So, when I touch these two together, it engages the starting solenoid, which engages everything that I theoretically need for it to start. So, pop the wire off. Smells like diesel. Running diesel, that is. Alright, one more trick. I'm going to give it a little WD-40. See if that helps it fire up. Maybe, maybe not. My last trick. Run. And come on, let's do this. In case it blows the head off, I really don't want my hands there. Well, I'm not feeling any love today. Probably what I need to do is pressurize the fuel, put a pump on it and pressurize the fuel into the injector, and then she'll probably spin right over. That's my theory. So here we have the flywheel side of the engine. No big surprises there, other than I got to get a screen back over that. Here's the crank side of the engine, the business end of the engine, the side of the engine that actually does some work for a living. And you guys could see it's short and it has a taper. Full length from one end to the other is probably about 1 1/4, 1 1/2. The very end of it, I would say, is 1 inch here at the very inside, and then it tapers down to probably 3/4, 5/8. Now, how would one hook up to that? I did a little research, and it appears as if people say cut the end off the generator before you get rid of the generator head. Well, this didn't come with a generator head, so homie can't do that. Right, there's no keyway, so this is just a friction fit. Do you guys have any suggestions? I'd rather not weld a pulley onto it. I do see some guys who offer a taper, but how do you know this taper, which I assume is a Chinese metric, made in China taper, and some of those other tapers might not be quite the same. I mean, one could always get rude and crude, start the engine up, put a grinder on there, right, just the disc, and bring the whole thing down to that one size, and then once you do that, put a key in it and use it that way. That's a possibility. I just assume have whatever goes on there be a little bit more proper. Once I could get a pulley on there, right, then I have a spinning flat surface, and I could really put anything on it, right? I could extend it. I can even put a cage out here, and then put a bearing outboard and do something along those lines. Anyway, so if anybody has a suggestion, please speak up. So, now in the meantime, I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.